Welcome back to another great tutorial called the Gulp.js tutorial from start to finish. I decided to call it Gulp.js made easy. And some of you might have been hearing the name Gulp, but you don't really know what it actually does. So today you'll be learning about Gulp.js, and it's going to be very sweet and fun. There's nothing pretty difficult about Gulp.js. You will learn everything here. It's one of the latest technologies that is being used these days, so you will learn a lot about it, and that's it. Alright, so as always, I still remain Tony, your host, and this is on Code to Create CTC channel, and I'm a software developer, motivational speaker, long life learner, code instructor, and I take Gary as coffee. Let's quickly go into Gulp. Now, what is Gulp.js? Gulp.js is an open source JavaScript task runner, and by task runner, what Gulp.js actually means is that it is not a library or a framework like React, Angular, or NodeJS, but it's just that it is a task runner that helps to simplify the major work, also to reduce repetitive tasks in our code. Now, it works with Node.js and NPM. In as much as it is not a library or a framework, it is still a JavaScript oriented based task runner, like it was written in JavaScript, and that is why it has to run directly in the computer and not on the web browser. So in order for this to be achieved, we need Node.js, which is a JavaScript made easy on the desktop, or a toolkit to run directly from the computer and not on Chrome. Alright, so it works with NPM and Node.js, and when you install Node.js, it comes along with NPM. And what is NPM? NPM simply stands for Node Package Manager. It's just like the Composer for PHP, PEP for Python, Django, you understand? Composer for Laravel, actually. So Node Package Manager is what helps us to install the dependencies that we need for the Gulp libraries and frameworks in Node.js. Another basic point and advantage of Gulp.js is that it is a development made easy task runner. That means it helps to avoid repetitive tasks, and what you know you are going to repeat down the line while you code, you can just put it in just a function, a single function, and it will just help us to run the task. And the last point here is that Gulp have its own ecosystem of libraries. Now you have Node.js, and you have libraries or dependencies that are in Node.js, like Express, NodeMon, and all those dependencies. Like in terms of PHP, you have Composer that you use to install some libraries. Gulp also have its own libraries that people have built to minimize work and reduce some tasks for us. So they have already built these libraries, and some of these libraries are what we are going to use to make up some task runner in this tutorial. Now, the major use of Gulp, right? It's very important you also know the major uses of Gulp. So it's used to minify scripts and styles. For example, the JavaScript files, it will help us to minify them, like remove the comments, just make them in a single file. And what do you think is the purpose of the minified version of a script or a style sheet? The main purpose is that it will help the web browser load these scripts very fast, you understand? That means Gulp.js helps to also make your website or a web page load faster. So it will minify the scripts, just like you have the minified version of jQuery is what we have as jQuery.min.js. So just something like that, it will help us to minify it. So if you might be wondering how can we have thousands of jQuery code in a single file, it is made possible with the use of Gulp. Another point is Gulp.js is used for concatenations. Like if you have like 4 or 5 JavaScript files, it can just automatically bring them into a single file for you. They'll just help your web browser locate this file and load it faster, you understand? So you can write 5 to 10 scripts at the end. Gulp will just bring everything together. Now Gulp is also good, it compiles code, you understand? Very good in that area. Now let's go on. The fourth point is for optimization of large web resources like images and videos. Now this is very sweet. This is one sweet thing about Gulp. Now if you have an image or a video that is the size is very large, you know, all these things will help to slow down your web pages and your website while it loads. So Gulp will help to reduce the size of these images to a minimized version, you know, just a minimized size without even affecting the quality. The fifth point is for setting up live server for development purposes. Wow, this is really lovely. And in terms of PHP, you have to go to XAMPP, download XAMPP or something like WAMP to do all these things to just set up a live server. But Node.js just help us to create a live serve automatically that helps to serve our web pages in the development environment. And after running everything, we can then upload them to your host. You understand? Now another thing again is for testing and debugging. Now you will see when we are going to use Gulp, you will see that Gulp can also run through some JavaScript functions and JavaScript code and also debug it for us, tells us where the error is coming from, and we can able to check through it and correct our mistakes. All right, let's keep going. Now why Gulp? Why Gulp? You know, we have other task runners like Grunt, understand, Webpack, and the rest of these are other ones, but Gulp is very good. Now one good thing I really like about Gulp, I'll just give you the reasons, 5 reasons here. It reduces time spent in loading a web page. That's just simple. There's one thing about Gulp, and it achieves that by reducing the size of images, videos, and creating live servers, create like minified version of scripts and styles, converting Sass to CSS, you understand? So, and another thing is easier to read than other task runners like Grunt. Like other, I'm not like trying to say Grunt is not good. Grunt is good, but if you check the code very well, you discover that Gulp is far more easier to learn and use than Grunt. Gulp is more popular with lots of libraries. You can find lots of libraries about Gulp on the Gulp website. So alright, another thing again is based on stream, and that is streaming in the sense that you can keep working on a particular function till you achieve your aim before you close it. That stream is very difficult to explain, but while we are going to code, I'll explain it for you. You will see how it works later. And finally, Gulp consider code over configuration, unlike Grunt. This is very simple. You do everything with coding, you understand, in terms of Gulp, but in terms of Grunt, you have to do some configurations and some other things. But Gulp, you do all your coding in JavaScript, and it's very sweet. Alright, so that's it for this section. Common functions of Gulp. These are the top common functions of Gulp. We have Gulp task, which we are going to use to define the task that we want to run, and we have the second one, which is Gulp src, which means Gulp source, which targets the file to work on, and Gulp desk, which targets the folder to output. That means after working on the file targeted, you have to push it out to a folder, understand, and that is your deployment folder actually. And finally, there's just this sweet function called Gulp.watch, which will watch files and folders for changes. You don't have to refresh anything, to just watch them for you. I will be taking this tutorial gradually, step by step, so you can get everything, and that's why you see I took my time to prepare this slide. Alright, so the installation process of Gulp is very simple. All you need to have in your system right now is to install NodeJS, and you can do that by going to https://www.nodejs.org, and you can just go there, install it. I will show you the website very soon, and you install Node.js, and the second thing, you install Gulp using npm. Like I said, is a node package manager that contains all the packages of Node.js, you understand, but in this case it contains all the libraries for Gulpjs, and you can use that to install Gulpjs libraries, which we will use. Get familiar with ESX standard, because that's what I'm going to be using here, like an arrow function and some other things. If you see me using arrow function, know that I'm trying to define a function. Alright, so finally we are good to go. So what you need to do now is open the text editor and let's begin. Thank you. Alright, so to install Node.js, all you need to do is to visit this site. The link will be in the description box. You can go there, click it, and have Node.js installed. After downloading Node.js, you can install it, and you just install the normal process. You know how to install things, right? I don't need to install it again because I already have Node.js on my system. Alright, so now this is the Gulp site, gulpjs.com. You can come here and you can read the documentation by clicking this place, and you check some plugins also that you want to use. So you can see automate and enhance your workflow, and this is the simple way of installing Gulp that they have just shown here. So this is all you see, and you see, so they have a good documentation about Gulp here. I don't need to go through this, but here I'm going to make everything easier by demonstrating how to use Gulp entirely. Alright, so let's quickly dive into the text editor and begin. Alright, so right now we are in my text editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code right now. You can use any text editor that you want to use. Either Sublime text editor is quite good, Atom or anyone. But right now I'm using Visual Studio Code. It's very wonderful. You can use it. To confirm that you've installed Node.js, all you need to do is to come into your command line. Right now I'm using the Visual Studio Code command line. You can test it on any command line, even the Windows command prompt. Just do that. Just type node / and you type this and you check. So I have Node version 6.11.1, so I have Node.js installed. Now we are going to create a Node.js project right now. Although I have Node.js, I have it created already, which I called Gulp app. So what you need to do is to initiate your Gulp project by just typing npm init. And once you type npm init, you can just click enter, and once you click enter, you just follow the normal prompt there. You give your app a name, you choose the version for your app, you choose the entry point for your app, and you just follow the normal processes and you are good to go. And after that, you need to install Gulp right now, which is what I really want to focus on. So to install Gulp, you need to do npm install -g Gulp, and this simply means you are installing Gulp globally. That's what it means here. So if you click enter, you have Gulp installed globally on your system, but I already have that, so I don't need to click enter again, but I need you to do that. So once you've done that, you have Gulp installed, and once you've initiated your app, also you have something like this, the package.json file. The npm init will help you to install the package.json file. Now what you now do, we have installed Gulp globally, but we need to install it as a development dependency file. So what you need to do is to do npm install /save-dev, and you give your space and type Gulp. So once you click enter, you are going to install Gulp as a dev dependency, you understand? So that means we are going to use for development purposes only, because we don't deploy Gulp along with our project, because since it's just for task run. So once you've done that, once you've installed Gulp as a dev dependency, we'll be needing four interesting libraries for this project. Like I said, Gulp has its own ecosystem of libraries, so we'll be installing some Gulp libraries. So what I need you to do for me now is type npm install some dash, then save-dev. So we are going to install them as a dev dependency library also. So you do gulp-image main, gulp-image main, gulp-sass, gulp-uglify, gulp-connect, and finally you do gulp-concat. So you do this and you click enter, and this will install all the dependencies that you need to go along with me in this tutorial right now, because these are the libraries we are going to be using to build this simple task runner. Alright, so once you've done this, and to just take some time because to install everything. Alright, so I'll just clean this up. I'll not press enter because I have them already. So to prove that you have them, once you click enter and you see that you have everything, you can simply come here and click on the package.json file. And once you click on the package.json file, and you'll see that you can see everything here. As you can see, I have Gulp installed, Gulp connect installed, Gulp concat installed, Gulp image main installed, Gulp sass installed, and Gulp uglify installed. So if you do this, you are good to go. So right now what we are going to be doing now is to start our very first Gulp project. So I'll simply come here and I'll create a new file. Don't be confused by this. I just decided to separate my editor into two phases right now. So I want to be seeing these dependencies because we are going to require them all in our file. So I'll come in now and I'll create a new file and I'll name it gulp file.js. First of all, I'll have to require them. So the first thing is gulp. Alright. And the next thing we'll do gulp. I'm using the const to declare the variable here because I want to use the existing task here. So the next one we'll do gulp connect. We have to require this dependency right here, gulp connect. So I'll just copy this. Sorry, I can't type all this right now because I'm a bit lazy. It's morning. It's 4:35 a.m. this morning. The next dependency is gulp concat. I'll just call it concat, and I'll do that for all of them. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I've required all the dependencies that we need, which are in the package.json file here under the dev dependencies. I'll just remove this right now because we don't need that anymore. I'm gonna make this bold a little so you can see everything. So I told that we'll be working with 4 major functions. I'll just list them out for you. Alright, so these are the 4 major functions we'll be dealing with today. We'll be using the gulp task, gulp source, gulp desk, and Gulp.watch. So I just tried to comment on them here so we can be seeing them and be making use of them. It's a good practice while trying to use gulp as well. Alright, so the first thing we'll be doing with gulp right now is to create a live server. So to do that, okay, before then, let's quickly test gulp and see how it works. First of all, you have to follow me clearly and do this. So we'll declare a task right now. I'll say gulp task. I'm going to name it test. So this is the name, test. And what I will do, I'm going to use the arrow function. And what I'll do here is to say console.log gulp is running fine. Okay, so let's quickly save this. Now, if you've done this, to run your gulp task, all you need to do is to come down to the console and type gulp with the name of the task, which is test. And if we click enter, we just wait for it, and it's just checking to see if there's any error there and to give us a reply shortly. Okay, so you see gulp is running fine. That means everything ran very well without any error. So this is one sweet thing about gulp. It will first of all check if there's any error and it will just run the task for you. It's a starting task because that's the name of the task we just defined just now, and it will just tell you gulp is running fine based on what you defined inside, and say gulp finished, and it did that in 783 milliseconds. I won't clear this all because I'll be uploading this on my GitHub repository so you can get the code and also correct yourself if you make any mistake. So let's try to create a live server right now. So to do that, we also have to define a task. So we'll define this task, and I'm going to name it connect. Simple name, you can just give it any name, and using the arrow function, I'll quickly come down here, and what we'll do here, I'll just say connect.server, and inside here parentheses, and there you just say port. We define the port that I'll be using, port 8889. Alright, so once you did this, we can now save this and test. Let's see whether we have a server running, and this will, alright, so sorry, the spelling of my connect is wrong. You can correct that, and this will run because we have a library called gulp connect already, which we initialize to be connect. Alright, so let's quickly run this. So I'll save this now and drag this up. I'll clear this, then I'll do gulp and the name of the task. So if the name is connect, and I click enter to check what is going to bring out. If I have any error, it will show me. If there's no error, it will not work. Server started on localhost 8889. Just with this 3 lines of code, we just have a server. Understand? This is one simple thing about gulp, and you will see we'll use that to serve our HTML page that we're going to create very soon. Okay, let me have an HTML. So I have index.html, an HTML page, and here. Alright, so we'll just quickly have our normal HTML markup here. So I have this, and the title is my gulp project, and I just have a head1 tag, and I just said gulp project home. So do localhost port 8889. So you see, I just type localhost port 88889, and you see we have gulp project home. So you see that this is serving our home page right now, and you can simply stop the server by quickly coming here, and let's quickly stop it by pressing Ctrl+C. So the next task we are going to be doing right now is okay, so what we'll do now is I'm going to create a folder, and I'll just name this folder ROC, which is source, and inside this RC I'm going to create another folder actually. So I just have another folder inside the source folder, JS folder, and inside this JS folder I'm going to create another script. So I'll just name it script1.js, and here we are just going to write simple JavaScript document.write hello Mr. Monkey. I can just write this comment and come down here and say document.write how are you Mr. Doc. Okay, and I'll actually have to comment here too, so I'll just show you. Maybe we'll have a comment here to say greetings. Understand? So if we have something like this, this is a JavaScript file already. So what do you think that Gulp can do to this to minify it? So we're going to use Gulp to minify this right now using the library called Uglify. So we'll go back to our Gulp file. Normally you should name it Gulp file. I forgot to tell you that. I don't know why, but that's what most people use in their projects on GitHub, so you can be able to remember that this is a Gulp file. So I'm going to use the Uglify. Define this task now. Say minify arrow function as usual, and you can always do this like this. For the sake of those that don't know about ELC syntax, you can always do this like this, but I'm not going to leave it like this. We should go pro, so I'm going to use the arrow function. So we have this. What I'll just write here is, just watch this now. We are going to minify this script.js. What we'll do, we'll come here and you target the source where the file is located by using gulp.source. So we do gulp.src and we go into the folder where it's located. I think it's inside src/js, and you do slash, and you have your star by pressing shift 8, and you have your dot, and what we are looking for inside that folder, any file that ends with .js. So we want to minify that file, and we'll just pipe it to the minify library, which we call Uglify. And then once we minify this, we want to put it in the deployment folder using the gulp.desk, and here I'll just want to create a new folder called disk and js. So we're going to drop it inside the JS folder that is inside the disk folder. Now just watch what's going to happen right now. I've not created this folder, but once I run this task, it will create the folder and minify the JavaScript and store it inside the folder called JS that is located inside the disk folder, and that's my deployment folder. So I'll just come here and say gulp minify and I enter. So watch what is going to happen right now. Alright, and you see, oh sorry, I forgot to pipe this also. I'm supposed to pipe this. Sorry for that mistake. Okay, so it's a continuous stream. That's what I was talking about. It's a continuous stream. So let me clear this off. This was wrong. So I'll do gulp minify. Or let's see. So as you can see, it just created another folder for us called the disk folder, and inside the disk folder we have another file called JS, and this is the minified version inside the JS folder. So if I click on this, you see that it has just reduced what we just wrote just now to a single line. Actually, this is what we were having the first time. As you can see, it removed the comments and just minified everything to be on a single file. So this is what I was talking about. So it has just minified this. I think you have seen this in jQuery.min.js, and this is how they are being minified. So it will help the web browser to load this faster on a single line. So the next task we are going to be defining now is, so let's have another file inside the source folder. So I'll just go ahead and create another file, and that script actually. So I'll just name it script2.js, and inside the script2.js I'm just going to create another JavaScript function. So I'll just come here and say alert hello user. So this is another script which will just pop out hello user. What I want to do now is to concatenate both of them. That's the next task we're going to be defining. So I'm going to use this concat library which we have required in our file here. So this is the concat. What it does is to concat two scripts together. So I'll just do that right now, but in this case what I'll quickly do, we'll just come down here and I'll just do pipe concat them After concatenating them, I'll give them just one name. What I'm trying to do here is, first of all, it will go to the source where the JavaScript are located. It will identify the files that they are JavaScript, bring them together, and just give them a single name, put them in a single file called main.js, which we didn't create. It will just create it for us automatically. And after doing that, to just uglify or minify this main.js and make everything to be on a single line. And after that, to just output it in the deployment folder, which is disk/js, which is that folder. So if I save this, we open the console also. So I'll just clear this up. We open the console right now. I'm just going to do gulp minify, enter, and watch what's going to happen. Alright, I think it has done that. Alright, so it has created a disk folder for us, and inside the disk folder we have another folder called JavaScript, and we have a main.js. Let's quickly check. So it has created a folder called disk, and inside the disk we have a JS folder also, and inside the JS folder we have our main.js as we specified. So if I click on this and I open this, you see that it has concatenated everything. It just combined both the script 1 and the script 2 together, and also minified them using the uglify library, and they are just on a single line. Just that the text editor's font is very bold because of you guys. I want you guys to see what I'm typing, so that's why it's that this one came to the next line. If not, they're all on a single file. I believe this tutorial is becoming more interesting. Please, whenever you are doing this, don't make any changes to your deployment folder. Always make your changes to your source folder, development folder. So what I'll do now, I'll just go into my index.html, and just before the closing tag of the body, I'll just put my script there. So, and that is done. So we can save this. So we have added this to our HTML. Okay, so let's go back to our gulp file, and the next task we're going to be defining, we're going to make use of, is the Sass. So let's see how to compile a Sass file syntax to CSS syntax. So we can do that with gulp also. It's a task runner. So what we'll do, come down here and set gulp.task, and we open this, and I'm going to name this style arrow function, and here I'll just do gulp. We'll just point to the file we want to use. Oh, sorry, I have to create my CSS file first. So what I'll do is, still in the source, I'll create a new folder, and I'll call it CSS. Oh no, I'll just call it Sass. And inside this folder, I'm going to create a Sass file. So I'll just name it style.scss. I think that's it. And here I'm just going to declare 3 variables. So I have these 3 variables, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just attach this to the body. Let's make use of our variable right now. Of course, for the background color, I'll just give it the BG color, which is holding the hash color here, 999999. Yeah. For the text color, I'll just give it, and finally for the font size, oh sorry, I think I missed something here. The web browser won't understand this actually. It doesn't understand Sass, so we have to recompile this into a CSS file. Alright, so we can just come down here, and what I'll quickly do right now is point to the file we want to compile. So I'll say, look, go into the src, and inside the src we have Sass, and inside the Sass, just anything that carries SCSS there, deal with it, and we'll pipe this to the Sass. So one good thing we can also do here, we can also make it to log out error if there's any error actually. So we'll do dot on error. So we can just define this. We want you to log out the error. So, and that's how we have it. And this is all in the documentation of Sass library for gulp. Gulp.disk, this is a function, it's not a string. Inside a disk, we are going to drop it inside the CSS. If I save this right now and we come here, let me just clear this off. Gulp style. So let's quickly check. This is our disk folder, and we have the CSS folder created automatically for us, and inside we have the style.css. And once you click on this, you can see that it has just compiled everything into normal CSS. You see one thing about gulp is magical. Okay, so what I'll do now is still go into my development folder, and this here we have the index.html. I'll just add the style, so it's just pointing to the CSS folder, and we are inside the CSS folder we have style.css. And what I'll also do here, I'll come here, and this is supposed to be inside the JS folder, so we'll save this right now. Okay, so I'll just clear this up, and we go into the gulp file, and inside the gulp file we continue. I think the last thing we have to do right now is images. So before then, there's one sweet thing. What if I want to run the task connect, I want to run the task minify, I want to run the task style? What will I do? Will I be typing them one by one? The simplest way to do it is by typing gulp task, and inside the task you just put default here. Please, the name still remains default, it's always default. And once you do that, we are going to create an array, and inside the array we can put all these task connect minify style. So we have the first task is test, separated to the comma. The second task is connect. The next one is minify. We have style, and I think we have 4 tasks for now. 1 2 3 4. By doing this, I don't need to type gulp.this gulp.that again. So all what I'll just do right now is to invite my command prompt here, and I'll just type gulp, and to just run everything automatically, to just run the whole task. You see one good thing about gulp here, so it's running everything, all the tasks completed, and it's telling me that I can now check this on localhost 8889. So let's check localhost 889 to see what we're having. So I'll just refresh this. Oh no, that's a very big mistake. Alright, so there's just one thing I forgot to do for you guys, so let's clear this first. I'm supposed to copy, no, just a minor mistake actually. I'm supposed to copy the HTML file into the disk folder, which is the deployment folder. So what I'll actually do, I want to put this index.html right now inside the source. So I'll just move this into the source. Move the source. So I'll just do this. So that is inside the source now. So we have our index.html inside the source folder. Don't copy index.html directly into the deployment folder. You can just come down here, and what you do, I would like you to do is to declare a task for it. So for all your HTML, it can be 4 or 5 many pages. Do gulp.task, and I'll just call it statics. And here I'll just need to point to the source where it's located. So it's located inside src, sorry, quotation mark. Anything that looks like .html there, just copy it. Put this in the destination, the disk folder, and I'll come down here and also define this here, statics. I think I have that name already, statics, and I have that name here, statics. So you have to put this inside your default task and type gulp. So we have everything. So all I'll do now is just click on the disk. Why didn't it copy? What happened? I'm not seeing .html here. Oh, sorry, we didn't pipe this. Always remember to pipe your destination function. So okay, so I'll just have to close the server again by pressing Ctrl+C. So sorry for that. Gulp again, just run gulp once again. It's done. Alright, so we have our index.html here right now. So if I just go to this localhost right now, I'll just go there and I'll refresh this. Oh, okay, this popped up. This is just what the live server is presenting, that these are your entire project. You can just click where your index.html is located. So this is located inside the deployment folder, which we call the disk. I can just click on this, and we have Gulp project home, and we have hello Mr. Monkey, how are you Mr. Duck. And JavaScript is taking an effect here by just displaying that document alright that we wrote earlier in the JavaScript. So I think what is not here right now is the pop-up. And see what's wrong, what's really wrong here. Oh, sorry, I didn't call this function. Actually, I'm supposed to call the function. Just go ahead and type greet and you call the function. and do gulp again, I'll be very happy to just copy everything. So remember, I just edited the source folder, but it's going to take an effort and just correct everything inside the disk folder. So if I come back here and I refresh, hopefully it should give me the alert, hello user, and I can click OK and get this. So everything is working perfectly. So we can go to gulp file again, and we just have this left, the image library. We have to use this. So we learn how to minify image here. First of all, let me get an image. I'm going to use the gulp logo. So I think this is good. Let me copy this. And inside the source folder, I'll create a folder, and I'm going to name it images. Open this image folder that is inside the source folder, and I'll just paste this image here. And the name is bad. Why did I even name it bad in the first place? I should name it gulp. And what type of image is it? So it's a JPEG. Okay, into our code, and you see it's taking an effect here also. So we have our image folder inside the source folder. What I'll do now is we just come here and we just quickly do that, gulp.task, and we'll do, remember all these things you can just learn them from the documentation of each of the dependencies created. So they just have to do that. Anybody that creates its own dependency will have to do that. So just point to the source folder and we go into the images and just do this. It can be JPEG, can be PNG. Don't just put anything. This simply means that any images that is located inside this image folder will be optimized. So I'll just pipe this to the image main. I'm talking about this stuff here, image main. So we can just pipe this. So just reduce the size of the image, and we can just pipe this into the disk folder. Inside the disk folder, it will create images folder, and inside the images folder, it can dump the optimized image. Hopefully, I should get an image folder inside the disk folder here with images. I'll just cut this guy here, the server, and I'll just run go. Oh, so the task is not styled. We have another style already, so I'll just name this optimize image. So up image, let me just name it that, up image. So I can just come down here, and hopefully it's the last task that came in. So I can come here and just enter gulp. Do you have a minified image? Something happened here. Check the last message that just popped up in the console. Gulp image min replied something, said minified one image, and it saved 1.15 kilobytes of that image, which is 10.2% of that image. First of all, I will show you what we have in the source folder, and I will show you what we now have in the disk folder. So this is actually the source folder. So let's check this. In the source folder, we have the size of this image to be 11 kilobytes, and so let's quickly go into the disk folder. In the disk folder, we have images, and once we check the size of this image right now by clicking on properties, okay, tried a little bit, it reduced the size of the image to 9.88 kilobytes. So you see the power of gulp, and it didn't change the quality at all. So let's try to bring that into our index.html page right now. Let me just clear this files from here, and let me work with gulp alone. So right now we'll just go into the source folder. So from the source folder, I'll just go into the index.html, and there I can bring in my image. So it's inside the disk folder, and in the images folder we have it to be gulp.jpg. Let's save this. And another thing I want to do again is I want to bring everything to the center. So I'll just go to Sass, I'll just do align. This is a variable called align, and I'll just name it center. So I can now come into my body tag and define this property. So since we're writing everything in Sass here, so we just have to do it like that. So I'll just do test align, and I'll just drop this guy here. Let's see these changes we've made. We just run everything by saying gulp. So finally, I can even go ahead and delete this disk here, the entire disk. I'll just delete the entire disk folder, and let's say we have just the source. We have written everything we need to write, have all our files and all our images in the source folder. All we need to do now is to just run the command gulp, and that is all. If we come here, see that we have this. So let's quickly refresh our web page and see what we're having. So if I refresh this, oh, the image is not displaying. So what actually happened? Let me go back images. Oh, sorry, it's not supposed to go into the disk again. It's already inside the disk folder, so we're supposed to go into images/gulp.jpg. so save this. Sorry for that mistake, and you just clear this and we just do gulp to run everything again. I think that is settled. We can come back here and refresh, click OK, and we have our gulp image here. Although this website is a little bit alright, this is not a website actually. We are actually trying something here. We're trying to make use of gulp, but this is how it works actually. This is the optimized image and it's here. So finally we have to do the watch function, the last man standing, this guy here, watch. Actually I was supposed to use this throughout while coding. This is what you should do first while coding, but I needed to do all this so I can see the changes that I make in all the tasks. So what it simply does is to wash all the files for any changes, running everything behind the scene. Now, so I'll just go out of this server by doing Control C, and let me bring this bash down. Okay, and finally we are going to have our gulp.watch. So let's quickly do that. So we'll say gulp.task first. So watch, that's the name. What are you going to watch? Let's have a function gulp.watch, and what we are going to watch is each of the folders for changes. So we are going to watch the HTML folders for changes, that is source/star.html with the name statics. You also watch the JavaScript folder, and that is in the source/js/star.js with the name Minification. So I'll just complete the remaining ones. So it will watch the image folder also, it will watch the Sass folder. So I'll just also bring the watch here. I think that should be the first thing. So I'll say watch. We save this, go to the console, clear this. Now just do gulp. It's telling me minify is not defined. So let me check. Okay, minify is supposed to be in quotes. Okay, I should have this wash at the last part so that it will tell me that it has finished washing. So and it's also washing. So comma/washing. So if you check this very well, you see that it said it's washing. It's washing. So you see that start washing, finished washing at just 34 milliseconds. So it's washing for any changes. So if I make any changes to our source file, it will just quickly update us. So what I'll quickly do now, I'll just go into this place. Okay, me to do this, I'll just change the color of our background to white, and I'll change the color of our text to black. Okay, I was black already, and let's raise it up. So you see task Sass is not in your gulp file. Please check the documentation for gulp formatting. So what I'll just quickly do now is to run gulp. Let's see. So if I come back here, a quick refresh, so we have this. You see the changes have been made, and this is lovely. So I think we are done with this tutorial. Like I said, whenever you are going to work on this, always wash your files first before you start defining the tasks, so that you just check them for you and run everything. So this is how it works, and there are lots of libraries built for gulp alone. Understand? It's not just limited to what we are having here in the package of JSON, gulp connect, gulp contact, gulp. These are just the main things that you need to know. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you really learned something from this tutorial, you can click the like button below, and please don't forget to subscribe. It always keep me going, and it shows that yeah, I'm doing something. All right, have a nice time. Till next time.